a record-breaking season for Mike O'Neill as they'll come out in a 4-2-3-1 with Holland and Almer in the middle. And those great attacking stars up top. Chantel Swaby, normally a center back, will also start up top. Meanwhile, Jennifer Klein's starting 11. More players making all Big Ten recognition than ever before for this Michigan Wolverines, including Beal in goal. Rutgers in their whites, Michigan in their maize uniforms, and we're underway. Semifinal number 2 alongside former Illinois superstar Jackie Manning. I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you. Congratulations to Erica Dombach and the Penn State Nittany Lions as they knocked off the upstart Purdue Boilermakers 2-0 in semifinal number 1. And of course, after 2 years at a neutral site, the Big Ten tournament returning to one of the team sites, and in this case, it's Rutgers, and that has usually meant good things for the home team. We'll see if it pays dividends for this Rutgers squad. Rutgers early on dropped off, knocked out of bounds, and got a good crowd here at Yersak Field. As we told you during that first game, women's soccer high profile here. Rutgers Scarlet Knights, a mainstay in the NCAA tournament, always right there at the top of the Big Ten table. And then also Sky Blue FC plays the majority of their home games right here. So they appreciate high-level women's soccer.
They do. Quite the atmosphere here. Like you said, they've got the pro team that follows at this field as well, and it's just a fun women's soccer type of vibe that we've got going on.
Hillary Beal, junior goalkeeper, Laguna Beach, California. Third team all Big Ten. Youth national team superstar. This Michigan team loaded with players that have more than just college experience. They've represented their teams at World Cups, like for Canada, and also at Youth World Cups. A dynamic, explosive team. Rutgers the same. Couple players that have represented Jamaica and one for England.
Putting together quite the roster. We talked a little bit about Jennifer Klein and her ability to kind of establish this new culture, and you've seen the belief and the confidence that's come with it out of this Michigan side. It's fun to see them kind of back on the up after a couple of years down. They've put back-to-back seasons together where they're in the Big Ten tournament again. I'm excited to see this program flourish under her leadership.
Michigan, much like the first game, Penn State, so many great attacking players. Rutgers going the other way again. Wind still blowing heavily here. Temperatures below 40. With that wind, it feels even colder. Sent in there by Nneka Moneme, the junior from Union, New Jersey, having herself a big-time year alongside Amira Ali. The Wolverines coming the other way. Raleigh Loftman had it for a second. Good little touch there coming from Joyner. It'll roll out of bounds. Joyner from Medina, Ohio. Mike O'Neill has 6 seasons and 6 trips to the NCAA tournament as they are locked and loaded. Definitely going to be in the NCAA tournament. Now it's a matter of their seed, but for Mike O'Neill, he's thinking about one thing: winning the Big Ten tournament right here at home. That would be huge for these fans, Jackie.
It would, and how fun is it to talk to him on the phone about his team? You can just hear the pride and the passion that he has for Rutgers soccer and the passion that he has for his job in general. And I feel like every time we talk to him, we get just hear cool stories about the family that he's kind of created, the culture that he's created. It's very fun to hear him talk about how much he loves his job.
Michigan. Strategakis, the Big Ten midfielder of the year, will get it out to Meredith Hawkinson. And Hawkinson will earn a corner kick, Michigan. Think about the Big Ten tournament finally returning. There's Megan McClellan, led the Big Ten in shutouts, second team All Big Ten. It's Jordan Bloomer from Wisconsin, first team All Big Ten. Last time it was at one of the team sites was 2016 in Minnesota. Minnesota won it. Corner kick, Michigan, driven in, top of the 6. And there is McClellan. Jackie, the year before, as you see this save here from McClellan.
Great corner kick in right into the back of the 6. Sydney Shepard gets on it, can't get enough power on it to get past McClellan.
The year before, 2015, it was at Penn State. Penn State won that tournament. So certainly both those teams, the last times the Big Ten tournament was played at one of the team sites, it was won by the home team. So Rutgers hoping to make it 3 in a row after 2 years at Grand Park in Westfield, Indiana. 2017, Penn State went indoors after a lengthy delay to come from behind and knock off Northwestern. They were the 5 seed, and then last year, Minnesota knocking off Penn State in penalty kicks. They were the 7 seed. Jennifer Klein was the associate head coach for Southern Cal when Kanani McAlpine's team won the national championship. She still talks to Kanani quite a bit, and she was a former head coach, the youngest head coach at the time for UNLV, and then after spending time with USC got the notion to be a head coach again as Moneme takes a shot, but Beal has the near post covered as Jennifer Klein looking on.
Well done by Michigan there, because how many times have we seen Moneme on that left side score off of that left-footed shot into the back post? So well done by Janice Joyner there to keep her wide. Moneme finds the ball here off of this takeaway, drives, gets her head up. We've seen her so many times score off of these opportunities, but this time Michigan, very well done to keep her wide, make it hard on her to keep her balance, hold her ground, and get a good shot towards the far post.
Knocked out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick. Corner kick for the Wolverines. 6 game-winning goals. It used to be Amira Ali. Every game-winning goal would go to Amira Ali. Well, now you've got Nneka also with her game-winning goals, 6, and Ali's got 4. 10 game-winning goals between those two superstars. Ali, first team All-Big Ten. Moneme, second team All-Big Ten. Flag is up, offside Michigan.
Like we mentioned, I mean, last year, how many times did we talk about Amira Ali coming through and finding those game winners? And I think she's just taken so much of the attention that Moneme just had this space and the ability to come through when her team needed her. And time again this season, she's put away those game winners. Not to say that Ali has dropped at all. She's had quite the season herself, but she's just had to do more in terms of off the ball and creating than she did in seasons past.
Wonderful crowd here at Yersack Field with more cars still working their way in. Brittany LaPlante, what a story she is, overcoming compartment syndrome surgery and working her way back, and she also was recognized with all Big Ten selection. Late in the middle. Loftman. Now Joyner. Joyner has Hawkinson. Meredith Hawkinson taken down, free kick opportunity.
This foul on Hawkinson does a good job to get herself turned, tries to switch the point of attack, and then just gets her ankle clipped. But a pretty dangerous spot here for a Michigan free kick.
Over the ball. Riley Loftman. Number 18, sophomore from San Diego, Global Odyssey Academy, is McClellan directing traffic. Think about Casey Murphy, then Megan McClellan, no drop off. And Casey Murphy's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, in my belief. She's outstanding. And at some point, it's got to be in the mix as well for the USA.
I would think so. Especially under some new leadership. You never know who's going to get called up.
McClellan came out, still loose. Michigan comes into this having scored 38 goals, given up just 15. They've got 2 players with more than 20 points. Strategakis, the Big Ten midfielder of the year, with 23. Hawkinson with 20. And then Loftman has 18, as that one will roll out of bounds. And Nikki Hernandez also with 13. Megan McClellan, second team All Big Ten. On the other side, Hillary Beal, third team All Big Ten. Most in the NCAA. Megan McClellan, 12 shutouts this season. Boy, the Big Ten, as you see Jennifer Klein directing traffic, always loaded with great goalkeepers.
They are, and it's specifically here. I mean, time and time again, we've seen her come up with huge saves for Rutgers, but also that sticks out to me is Amanda Visco, center back for Rutgers. She is so big time. Those last 2 defensive stops were because of Amanda Visco, whether it's with her head or her sacrificing some sort of her body. She is so good defensively for this Rutgers side. I think her and McClellan in tandem have just been outstanding, and that's why you see a lot of these clean sheets.
Amanda Visco, second team All Big Ten. And think about that back line for Rutgers, Jackie Manny. It's also been the emergence of Gabby Provenzano next to Visco, who you see right there. And because of the emergence of Gabby Provenzano, when Chantel Swaby was with the Jamaica national team, when Swaby came back, Mike O'Neill didn't want to disrupt that. Chantel Swaby, a complete player, now playing up top with Moneme, Amira Ali, and LaPlante.
What a handful up top for Rutgers, but yeah, exactly. Provenzano and Visco were working. Also, Swaby had to deal with some knocks here and there. She's trying to get healthy, but they want her on the field. And out on this left flank, you'll see her is where they found a spot for her.
Yep, she's actually in the 18 right now, is Swaby. So we'll see if Swaby takes advantage of her swan song here. The senior from West Hartford, Connecticut, Jamaican, part of the Jamaican national team, along with Tierney Wiltshire, as just a little bit too late is Moneme. Neka Moneme, second team All Big Ten. There's Hillary Beal, third team All Big Ten. Michigan, they've got the wind to start. That didn't end up making a difference in that first game. Penn State had the win, all kinds of pressure, but didn't score. And then going against the win, they were able to get 2 against Drew Roth and Purdue, as Purdue, after shocking Wisconsin, not enough against this talented Penn State team. And Jackie, we were able to spend some time after the game with Erica Dombach, and kind of like what we were talking about as they await the winner of this. Penn State really clicking. No matter who wins this game, it is going to be a wonderful matchup on Sunday.
It really will. Just Penn State's ability to move and find space, create space is so good. They're just a fun soccer team to watch.
Sarah Strategakis, 6 goals, 11 assists, 23 points, 25 shots on goal, 2 game winners. And guess what? A Big Ten midfielder of the year to go with it. Those 11 assists, leading the conference.
She's another one who's just kind of sits in between lines. She finds really good pockets of space, very good with her first touch. She'll turn, run at you, create something off the dribble. She's very smart with her movements and great timing too in terms of her final pass. She's created a ton for this Michigan side.
Hawkinson, foul called against Michigan. Jackie, remind us how cold it was when you played for Illinois in the Big Ten tournament. I think you had one at Minnesota that, what was it, 20 degrees?
It might have been colder. In my mind, it was like 5 degrees. It was so cold. I felt like I was ice skating. And we went into PKs in one game. It was freezing.
Rutgers right down the spine. Little nifty move. Brilliant sliding tackle at the very last minute for Michigan, as coming in there to break it up, Aaliyah Martin, the first team All Big Tenner. What a tackle from Martin.
A great defensive stop. It is so hard when you're in the middle of the field, 1v1 trying to defend. They can go any which way. You're not by a sideline that you can push him to. So great footwork by Aaliyah Martin. Great balance to try and hold her off. Well done by Aaliyah Martin. You see Almer drive at her. A little bit of shifty body work there, but Martin stays the course and drops down at that perfect time to defend that ball.
McClellan feeling a little pressure, boots it long. Strategakis just never stops working. There have been times where Strategakis, while listed as the 10, will sit up there at the 9. Pretty good with both feet. Throw in here for Michigan. Touch there from Shea Holland. Michigan will win it back. Nikki Hernandez. Hernandez, third team All Big Ten. Sent in, pinging around, loosened! In! Michigan off the loose ball. Rutgers player goes down. And I'm pretty sure they're counting it. I felt like I saw the referee point to midfield. Oh, they're calling a foul against Michigan, so it'll be no goal.
Initially, this looked like a foul on Michigan here. A jump, ends up jumping a little bit forward, but.
Shea Holland being escorted off the field by the trainers. She is at least on her feet, but you can see right there in all kinds of pain.
A ton of pain going on.
Yeah, she has battled injuries. That sandwich, Daniel Wolf, the freshman up top, falling perhaps on top of Holland as well, accidentally, of course, all in an effort to try to get to it. But the referee did a good job saying that the foul was on Michigan. And you see this great crowd here all bundled up. Chilly, windy Friday afternoon in Piscataway, New Jersey. Rutgers University, your host to the 2019 Big Ten Women's Soccer Tournament. Penn State in. They'll face the winner of Michigan and our host, Rutgers. Swaby goes down. The referee says play on, Michigan. See what they can do, building it out of the back. Joyner. Moneme. Taken away. Rutgers stepping in there was Taylor Almer. Now settled down by Loftman. What a finish from Loftman, though, just stepping into it. An absolute crank. And Megan McClellan leading the NCAA in shutouts. Couldn't do anything with it, but it didn't matter, didn't count. Moneme down near the end line, looking for Amira Ali. Second team All Big Ten, Nneka Moneme. Amira Ali, first team All Big Ten. Chantel Swaby, third team All Big Ten, along with Almer and Avisco. Megan McClellan, part of the second team All Big Ten. So both teams, and that's the deal. Even Erica Dombach, as we were talking about Sam Coffey not being named the Big Ten Midfielder of the Year, said, well, Strategakis was great, and they had a better season.
You know, when you're talking about those Big Ten Player of the Year, I mean, your team has to do great, like she talked about as well.
So Chantel Swaby, Michael Neal saying that she's not 100% healthy, but the only way to really know what she can do was to start her, not have her warm up and sit down, just have her warm up and play. But that is not a good sign either after Shea Holland has gone out. As Chantel Swaby, part of the reason, as Jackie Manny already told you, that you got that cohesion in the back line, that also she's not 100% healthy, and that doesn't look good. As Shea Holland and now Swaby. Swaby came in banged up, and Michael Neal did not know how long she could go. And
2 big losses in a matter of a minute for Rutgers.
So we'll see how they change the attack. Clearly Monemi will still feature. Coming in for Swaby is Emily Harrigan, a redshirt freshman out of North Huntington, Pennsylvania, Norwin High School. Turning with it, Wiltshire. Over to Amira Ali. The back heel flag stays down. Wiltshire still in, still loose, and it falls. And Michigan was looking for an offside, but the far side assistant referee said no. Good run there by Tierney Wiltshire. What a story she is she also earned a call up to the full Jamaican national team. Taylor Almer, one of the captains, has it taken away. Moneme. With Wiltshire, Moneme takes a shot from distance.
I love the relationship up this left side. We've got Wiltshire and Moneme kind of making things happen on the left flank here. Wiltshire drives in, tries to find Ali at the top of the box, but Michigan well done to get numbers around, but then a cheeky little back heel. Wiltshire continues her run to find that back heel pass, but ball gets sailed over on that last shot.
Emergence of Tierney Wiltshire from Elmer, New Jersey, but also her family's Jamaican, so obviously Jamaica always had an eye on Chantel Swaby, who's been making appearances with Jamaica most of her time here in Piscataway. And then Wiltshire getting the call up this year for the full team. Congratulations to Tierney. And the foul against Michigan will stay with Rutgers, and the Rutgers fans like it.
Danielle Wolf here, after initially losing that first ball, comes through the back of Amanda Visco, raises that left arm and all.
Amanda Visco, the senior captain. Rutgers is all about keeping the best players in New Jersey, which has always been, men or women, clearly one of the best states in the country for top-level soccer talent. And over the years, even since Mike O'Neill took over for Glenn Crooks, you'll see 7, 8, 9 New Jersey players in the starting lineup.
Which I think is such a great way to go about trying to build your program. And I think it also pays dividends once they've graduated too, because Mike O'Neill has talked about how culture and family is so important to him and what he's creating, and the ability for them to be close to home even after they've graduated is so important to their program as well. He talks about players coming back all the time, visiting, training with them. It's a great culture that he's established here.
And you know what? On the other side, I was looking at my notes from last year for Jennifer Klein, and she was saying the same thing, because when you look at the state of Michigan over the years, for instance, on the men's side, Damon Rensing always tries to get the very best players from Michigan. Jennifer Klein, that was her first nugget to us last year, Jackie Manning, when we talked to her. We got great players from Michigan that are playing all over the country. We got to keep them in Ann Arbor with the Michigan Wolverines. That's part of her focus. Going the other way as it's opening up here in the first half. Not even halfway through the first half after that extended injury time with Shea Holland. We hope she's okay. Amira Ali into the 18. She'll spin around it. Taylor Almer taking her time. Wiltshire, little spin. Amira Ali. Ali can't get a lot of mustard behind it. Amira Ali, tight spaces.
Here's a great ball in by Visco. Such a good diagonal ball in towards that right side. Harrigan, though, really well done to hold her run. And then a little bit of fancy footwork magic from Amira Ali at the top of the box. Just doesn't quite get enough power behind it.
4 shots for both teams. 2 corner kicks for Michigan, none for Rutgers. And now we got another player is Janice Joyner, sophomore from Medina, Ohio, Medina High School. Training staff with Joyner. So we've seen Shea Holland go out and Swaby for Rutgers, and now Joyner appears to be struggling for Michigan. Jennifer Klein, the head coach for Michigan, looking on. Assisted by Tiffany Hansen, who played at Bowling Green, and Tiffany Hansen was part of the Greg Ryan regime, stayed on, and then Katie Holton, who played at Washington State, part of that Michigan staff. Mira Ali.
Love this matchup between Ali and Martin.
Running downhill, LaPlante has it taken away. Coming over just in the nick of time, Samantha DeVecchi. Hawkinson knocked to the ground. Tierney Wiltshire, and that did not look like a comfortable fall at all for Meredith Hawkinson, sophomore from Maple Grove, Minnesota.
Wiltshire comes up on Hawkinson. Steps in, catches her left ankle there. And as she was kind of swinging, so landed straight down onto the ground. Quite the physical matchup so far, and we're, what, just over 20 minutes in?
Yeah, indeed. Well, and when you start to break it down, and we'll be talking a lot about it as we did the first game, as obviously you win the Big Ten tournament, you get the automatic bid, but the teams that are remaining are going to get in. Michigan's going to get in. Rutgers is going to get in. And now it's about getting the right seed, because you look at your RPI, how many games you win here in the Big Ten tournament, and if you can get a high seed, a 2 or 3 seed, then that means obviously more home games, Jackie, and perhaps an easier side of the bracket. And these teams deserve that merit. Their RPIs are high, their strength of schedule is high, their ranking is high, and they've had great conference seasons.
I mean, the Big Ten Conference in general has been so good across the board with a few different teams this year, more than a few. I think we've seen the emergence of Iowa as of late as well. But these teams in general, or specifically, definitely proven themselves.
Yeah, even Indiana. You think about Indiana, that own goal, which is so unfortunate, so unlucky. Erwin Van Bennekom coming over from Duke, and he had the Hoosiers close to doing what Purdue did. And perhaps shocking Rutgers, as it was the own goal. Rutgers were able to hold up and keep that 1-0 win. Throw in Michigan. Turney, Strategakis. Sarah Strategakis. So get it out wide left. Michigan, this is danger time. Denied by Rutgers. And Michigan will take their 3rd corner of the game. Mike O'Neill, top man for Rutgers from Kearney, New Jersey. All the way across. Loose, pinging around. Set back in, deflected, and they'll say off of Michigan, and back to Megan McClellan and Rutgers. Coach O'Neill directing traffic right at midfield in front of the 4th official. He was pretty fired up about the opportunity to participate as the host team of the 2019 Big Ten tournament. He's pretty proud of his team and pretty proud of the culture, as he was talking about. He also had to be concerned about the aforementioned Casey Murphy getting some time. She wanted to work out, and he's all about the family, right? So he's trying to balance everything. Loftman. Now Hawkinson. Nope. Before Hawkinson, Wiltshire steps in. Mira Ali. Pushed outside. Nice touch by Harrigan to get it outside. Trying to run onto it. Allison Lynch be back with Michigan. Under 20 minutes to go. I mean, really, Jackie, corner kicks advantage Michigan, but both teams have been dangerous inside the 18.
Agreed. I thought at the beginning of the game it was pretty back and forth, as you would expect, and then Rutgers kind of established themselves offensively in their third, but Michigan again is kind of clawing their way back in, and they've been in their half for the last good 5 or so minutes.
Strategakis leading to that turnover, then Lothman not able to get the same crack that she did on that foul with Danielle Wolf.
Lothman gets this ball at the top of the box, gets it onto her left foot, fires one, just gets her hips cut to square to the right.
Six goals and 6 assists for Raleigh Lothman. Hawkinson stuck her foot in there, won it for a second. Nemi in a battle there as Michigan has brought on, well, they've actually moved some players around, as now we're seeing Revere on the right side, Jackie. So Revere moves over to the right side after the injury to Joyner. As Joyner on the bench, and Holland and Swaby on the bench for Rutgers, all with injuries here in the first half.
It's been a physical battle, especially up this right flank for Michigan.
Revere sliding, slipping. Jade Revere. Hawkinson. There's been a lot of shoving going on in this one.
Wiltshire and Hawkinson again on this right side. I think we're going to see these two battle it out all game, especially after that initial hit to Hawkinson near the sideline that we saw. You can see kind of a fire in her ever since.
So Hawkinson, we believe, got a yellow card. And that needed to be done, I think, because we've seen a whole lot of action with the arms and some questionable tackles, late tackles.
Yeah, I agree 100%. This game was starting to get a little bit out of hand in terms of fouls and those late pushes.
Moneme, turnover in midfield. Rutgers can hurt you if they get their transition game going. We asked Coach Jennifer Klein what her keys might be, and I think she gave us about 20, as she was talking about being really good in the final third because Rutgers is so disciplined, patient service, defensive transition, value the ball, and then that kind of gave her the platform to talking about we're about making it Michigan, and that is the tactical and technical preparation, fitness, the belief and willingness to commit 100% as active participants in the growth of Michigan soccer. It was deep, but you can tell the team is bought in.
No, you could see a total shift in this Michigan side and the belief and confidence that they have in Jennifer Klein. And like you talked about, she's got that national championship experience under her belt, and she knows exactly what it takes to win and kind of put together a whole season.
Strategakis. But if you've watched Michigan, as we came on the air, we mentioned it's been magical. I mean, they play really attractive soccer. You often hear talk about beautiful soccer. Michigan plays attractive soccer. I mean, 3 goals against Maryland coming into this semifinal matchup.
They do, and they like to attack in those wide spaces. They'll get numbers forward that come in a little bit later. They like to attack in layers that make it difficult to handle defensively for opponents. They do. They play very pretty, attractive soccer. But hats off to Rutgers, because I think they've made it really hard on Michigan so far to really get into their game.
Megan McClellan there to handle it. She'll dump it over to Wiltshire. Look at this high press, though, from Michigan. Making it tough on the captain, Taylor Almer. Rutgers, though, committed to building it out of the back at the moment. Mike O'Neill did talk about the fact that, yeah, sometimes we'll build out of the back, sometimes we'll drop it long, we'll take what the opposition gives us. And for me, Jackie, like you, having been around the game for a long time, I like that. I don't like just going with one system no matter what. You've got to be able to adapt, right, as you go.
Absolutely. And I mean, I love how Rutgers, they just find ways to get it done, regardless of what it looks like. Sometimes, like you said, they take what it gives them, and they so many times come out on top because they're just that blue-collar, gritty team who gets it done.
Michigan is going to make a sub here. Coming into the game, Emma Cooper, junior from Iowa, went to West High School in Coralville. And coming out of the game is Danielle Wolf, as Wolf made the All-Big Ten freshman team. Speaking of freshmen, Hannah Blake, who has been on fire, she is with the New Zealand national team and not available for duty. Jennifer Klein saying they were aware from the get-go that they would lose her if they advance to the semifinals. She will be back, though, after the Big Ten tournament for NCAA play. McClellan is over there. I felt like that was a pretty fair approach for Jennifer Klein, saying when these young players have an opportunity to represent their country, no matter where it is, no matter when it is, it's hard to say no to that because it's also about life experience. And she didn't sweat it, didn't fight it, just knew next player up mentality.
The pros and cons of having some pretty good athletes on your team.
Good spin far side by Michigan, knocked out of bounds. After a couple delays for injuries, first half starting to fly along here as we're at 12:20 remaining in the first, still searching for that first goal. Revere switched over from the left to the right. Wiltshire. And it's dropped back to Hawkinson. Hawkinson's got to be careful. She's got that yellow card, and Hawkinson has been knocked to the ground several times as well.
And a Hawkinson-Wiltshire battle has been pretty prevalent on this right side, and this is one of those late-coming runners. Hawkinson joined in the attack late, tried to find that shifty little turn move to get end line, drew the foul.
Tierney Wiltshire over the ball for Michigan. Riley Loftman. Loftman appears to be looking far post. We'll see if Michigan will crisscross and try to make a run near post as well. Loftman going far post the entire way. Two white jerseys over there. No problem for Rutgers. Michigan will settle, though. Top of the 18. Shot, but not on frame. And Megan McClellan will take her time as just over 11 minutes remaining. The shot from distance coming from Samantha DeVici. Dana Goldstein is going to come into the game, as coming out of the game will be Emily Harrigan. Last shot coming from DeVecchi. DeVecchi, a junior from California. Several Californians also on this team, which makes sense since Jennifer Klein spent those years at Southern Cal. Also spent time at Washington State, was the former head coach at UNLV. So she'll have a deep connection on the West Coast as well. We did ask her about kind of what you and I have been talking about, dealing with the weather, and she said the Michigan facilities are so fantastic. Her relationship with Coach Hutchins, the Hall of Fame softball coach, and some of the other legendary female coaches, Michigan also made her feel right at home, and I think she's going to call Ann Arbor home for a long time.
I hope she does, because what she's done with this program in just 2 years has been so fun to watch, and I can't wait to see what comes next for them. Wind is holding up so many balls from the backspace when they're trying to hit those longer diagonal balls.
One in the midfield, played into space. Earlier we saw Monemi on the left side. Swaby went out as Jennifer Klein talking things over with her coaching staff. Right after their trip to Happy Valley and then Columbus, Ohio, I was lucky enough to be in Ann Arbor preparing for a Michigan men's soccer game, and Jennifer Klein was in her office and she called me in. I sat down and she said, Dean, I couldn't ask for a better start. To start on the road against Penn State, the perennial power, and then against every Ohio State team coached by Lori Walker Hawk is always difficult to get by. And she told me then, Jackie Manning, she knew and could feel it was going to be a special season. What a great way to start the season here.
Here they are against Penn State at Penn State, and they put one away. Great run into the box. Great finish. And another one right there. A huge save by Beal to keep that game 1-0 at Ohio State. Little goal off the side of her foot. Ball comes bouncing out towards the PK spot, and Strategakis slides that one into the left side netting.
What a great bus ride home from Columbus back to Ann Arbor after you beat your rival Buckeyes and knock off Penn State. And she was right. She knew that she had the kind of team that could have a successful year, and indeed they have, as once again you see Hawkinson, who has been featured quite a bit here early on. She has been the receiver of tackles and the giver.
She's so right, though, Jennifer Klein. I remember one year we had that same opening weekend on the road, Penn State, Ohio State, and you almost felt like if you could get through that successfully, your rest of your season was just going to be pretty easy from that point out.
Well, yeah, it's so funny you said that, because normally you're thinking, hey, if I can get 2 points or 4 points, it will be great. But to walk out of there with 6 points to start the season, they were off and rolling.
Huge, and there's no easy Big Ten game in terms of conference play, but that one, just in terms of the travel, it's hard to get to each site. Two big teams that are always hard to play against. But yeah, to come out with that and have 6 points in your first weekend is a pretty huge statement to start conference.
The crowd is into it, and another tackle. A great crowd here, all bundled up at Ursack Field. A really solid setting for the Big Ten tournament semifinals and final on Sunday. Run into the 18, taken away by Rutgers. Amir Ali will check back. Ali has that special quality of being able to trap tough balls. That one she was not able to bring down. On the ball now, Dana Goldstein. Ripped away, Wiltshire goes down. On it now is Revere. And again, an extra pass, one back though. Tight quarters. That's a good pass, Amir Ali. Now looking for options. Moneme was behind the ball. Ali was hoping that Moneme was at the top of the line. Jack, you saw her turn, right? Her head on a swivel, no one was there.
She's kind of stuck on that island up top by herself. Michigan's doing a great job to pin Rutgers, so getting numbers forward has been pretty hard for Rutgers in the last 5 minutes or so.
That's what I'm talking about, the ability to trap a ball like that, Ali. You could just ping it up. Mike O'Neill's even said that. Just knock it up there and she'll bring it down, and she showed it right there.
And I think that's part of her game that has evolved too, because we used to see just that goal scorer, that finisher, and now she's had to do more. She has to pop up off the line, keep the ball at her feet, be more of that target player, and find players like Moneme at the outside to try and create.
Moneme's shot falling to LaPlante. Tough bounce for LaPlante, as I think she was thinking about a long distance crank. Turning, Taylor Almer. Cleared out by Michigan. Now with some grass in front, Hawkinson will give it up. Strategakis, pretty hard to get it away from her. Gabby Provenzano's gonna try. Strategakis will drop it off to Brooke Seeley. Brooke Seeley, a senior from Alamo, California, as it comes all the way back to Megan McClellan. Moneme. That one even Amir Ali can't get to.
It's hard when you're the only target up top. It's hard to always be the one that's being able to run down balls. She's done a good job, though. Like you said, when that ball comes into her feet, she's done a great job at holding it up and being the target for Rutgers. This is that ball from Amanda Visco. It gets sent hard into her feet. She's jumping. Perfect, simple touch to just keep it down and play out of it. Great job by Amira Ali to keep possession for her team up top.
Soft feet of Amira Ali. Great work by our crew to show you the finer details of quality soccer. Faith Harper in for Michigan. Meanwhile, Jenna Sayers, as Michael Neal told us we would see Sayers, and Moneme, who was so active starting the game on the left side. After Chantel Swaby went out, she was less active over on the right side for sure, as we showed you the turn from Ali, hoping that Moneme was ready to go, and she wasn't. She was 20 yards behind Ali. Michigan, Hawkinson, little give and go. Wiltshire, nice shield. Did she touch it? Wiltshire did not. That's great defending by Tierney Wiltshire.
She's been busy up and down that left flank for her defensively and offensively. She has been all over the field. She's a great 1v1 defender. You see this ball in from Hawkinson, and Wiltshire does a great job to shield that ball out, not touch it, let it go over end line for a Rutgers goal kick. Ali battling physical contests, and Sydney Shepard, the sophomore from Danville, California, up for the battle against the veteran Amira Ali. Great little battle by these two, Shepard and Ali. Shepard, great job defending Amira Ali. She is not easy to defend once she turns and gets going, but a great job to keep herself in between Ali and the ball. Feel the intensity, really and the crowd has added so much. I just love being back on site of one of the schools, particularly with Rutgers being able to advance past a very good Indiana team. Loftman, top of the 18. Second ball, good hustle from Michigan to win it back. Nikki Hernandez sticking with it. That'll fall. Sent into the box there by Faith Harper, who just came on for Coach Klein. Little touch by Martin. Martin has pushed forward. Michigan trying to get one here in the final 2 minutes. Aaliyah Martin, first team All Big Ten defender. Revere, McClellan punches it. She's got to deal with the wind and all the players in front of her. McClellan may have caught a Michigan Wolverine as she came out hard. I think Strategakis was the player, but Strategakis, as tough as they get, stands right back up, ready to go. Ball in again, Hawkinson. This ball gets sent in by Revere, and McClellan does a great job to come off of her line, punches it up and away into that opposite side, which is exactly where you want that ball to go. McClellan ready. I love the intensity in her eyes. In goal, McClellan. There is not a shot that she doesn't believe she can handle. Sent right back in. McClellan right there ready, perfectly positioned. You know the deal, Jackie Manny. The goalkeepers are usually off to yourself, but you've been around the game long enough. You played at the highest level, even the pro level. You know a good goalkeeper when you see one, and she's got all the tools, every single one of them, Megan McClellan. She's it, and I was actually talking to my husband about the goalkeeping position because he was a goalkeeper in his career, and it's hard mentally to be a goalkeeper. If you make a mistake, you just kind of have to sit back there and wait for the next opportunity to change that. And I think it's just a hard mental battle, and she just seems like she has a very calm, composed demeanor about her, and you can see that in her leadership as well. She's fun to watch back there. 45 minutes, an all-out battle in front of a brilliant crowd here at Yersack Field. There is the Michigan huddle getting ready to start the second half. Hillary Beal with some final words of encouragement for Jennifer Klein's team. Coach Klein now in her second year. There's the Rutgers huddle. They're trying to keep loose. Started this game, it was 39 degrees, but with the wind blowing,
It's fair to say that it definitely feels closer to
It was pretty
low
chilly
30s.
out on that field when we were down there, yeah.
You see Megan McClellan doing her best to stay loose as well. Reminding you that Shea Holland, after 16 minutes, left the game, and 1 minute later, Chantel Swaby left. And then also Janice Joyner on the other side, 22 minutes in, wearing number 24 for Michigan. She also left as it looked like she was having trouble breathing, or perhaps even maybe sick to her stomach. Obviously just speculating, but she certainly didn't look comfortable. Hillary Beal, like Megan McClellan in goal, always looks comfortable. Two of the best goalkeepers in the conference. Hillary Beal, third team All Big Ten. And there's Rutgers subs. Those parkas are a hot commodity right now for sure. Don't leave one of those laying around because they'll be out of here.
I might steal it.
Second half. Get ready to start alongside former All Big Ten superstar for the Illini, Jackie Manny. I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you for 2 today, and the championship game on Sunday at noon on the Big Ten Network. Thanks so much for joining us. Second half underway. Same scoreline as the first game. Penn State and Purdue were at zeros, and Penn State came out in the second half going against the wind, and they were able to get 2 goals, including that penalty kick closer by the talented Coffey for the 2-0 final. Great crowd here at Ursack Field. As I can tell you, once this one gets going, everybody gets their hot chocolate and coffee and gets a little bit warmed up. It'll fill up, and they'll be adding to this wonderful environment here. Martin, safety first. That battle that we focus on to start, Martin with Ali and Monemi, has lived up to the billing, and Martin, in combination with her back line, you see everybody bundled up, they've been good.
They really have. And I think, I mean, given that Martin was a central midfielder to come off of last season, and she's made that transition to the back line, so she's very spatially aware, but she's also good with her feet. So even when she does come up with those big tackles, takeaways, she's great at setting play for Michigan. And time again today, especially, we've seen her come up with those wins and then kind of slow the game down. I think she's going to be key in this half to setting the pace and slowing things down so that they can get numbers forward into their attack. But she's got a great passing ability, accurate, great range. She's very good out of that center back spot.
Throw-in for Michigan in front of the Rutgers bench. Mike O'Neill. 6 outstanding years, a whole lot of wins. It's taking over. It'll move. No surprise, Hawkinson would feature again.
Against Wiltshire.
Yeah. Taking a look at the brag sheet from the Big Ten. A lot to brag about. As we told you earlier, the Iowa Hawkeyes should also get in with their 15 wins. Great job by Dave Diani. Corner kick Michigan, just a couple minutes in. Loose. And McClellan with the save right in front. Lucky that it didn't spill more than that. And you see the pat on the back for McClellan. If that spills, it's 1-0 Michigan.
A save, and like you said, her ability to hold on to this ball is incredible. A great strike here. Gets it, has her feet set, dives to her left, holds on to this, doesn't let it spill. It bobbles just a little bit, but then quickly she pounces on it to keep that ball.
Sydney Shepard with the score, but lurking right there, Meredith Hawkinson and Emma Cooper, both right there. Any kind of drop from McClellan, either side of her, it was Michigan ready to pounce. And that is the value of securing it. Pretty good shot from Shepard, but McClellan able to handle it. So good start for Michigan. Nice work. In goal for Rutgers, Megan McClellan. Still zeros. Midfielder of the year, Strategakis will give it up. Nikki Hernandez She received Big Ten recognition this year, all conference. Riley Loftman dishes it out wide. Miss hit, no problem.
Hernandez is one that Klein talked pretty highly about as well. Does the work off the ball, does the work defensively for this Michigan group. Doesn't get a ton of credit, almost that unsung hero, if you will. She's had a big season for this Michigan side.
Coach Klein's consistent. It's always just do us.
Yeah.
Do it our way, the Michigan way. And if we worry about that, good things will happen, and she's been right about that. Neme let it go out of bounds. See Coach O'Neill telling his team to take their time. Wow, this is pretty major here. Chantel Swaby has already come out. And now second team all Big Tenner. Led the team in goals. Neka Neme, that is not a good sign for Mike O'Neill.
Potentially be a huge loss up top for this Rutgers side. We talked about how many times she has come up big for Rutgers offensively. I feel like all season long she's kind of put on that superwoman cape when this Rutgers side needed her to.
Julia Aronov, the freshman from New Hyde Park, New York, New Hyde Park Memorial High School, has come on. She's played some quality minutes all season long for Mike O'Neill. Started a lot of games as well, so full confidence for sure in Julia Aronov. Sent in by Binkley. Knocked out of bounds. So Amir Ali started the game with Swaby on one side, Monemi on the other, and now she doesn't have either one of them. She also doesn't have Shea Holland out there. And so you start to think about individuals that can change the game. Amir Ali is one on one side. Strategakis certainly one on the other side that have the ability to take a game over and provide a winning moment.
They do. I think Brittany LaPlante's one that has done some pretty big things for Rutgers so far this year. She was big in that Penn State game we saw against them.
Hawkinson's already got that yellow card. She's got to be careful. She comes in hard. Referee plays advantage. There's Ali. Drops it over. Looking for LaPlante. And LaPlante earns the corner kick. Does Jackie O'Malley know what she's doing or what?
Just trying to keep up with the legendary Dean Linke.
Corner kick. Taylor Almer, senior from Garnersville, New York, North Rockland High School. Penn State watching this game, and they got a little revenge on their mind. Because remember, they were 6-6-1. They fell to Rutgers on the Big Ten Network, 3-2 in 2 overtimes, and they also lost to Michigan, as we showed you earlier. So Erica Dombach's team ready to take on either one of these teams. It's hard. A team like Penn State twice. Rutgers sent across. Once again, perfectly positioned there by Aaliyah Martin. That's a good soccer player wearing that 4 jersey for the Maize and Blue. Hard tackle. A little reckless as Jade Revere, the freshman from Canada. Of course, Michigan, Janice Joyner, who started the game on the left side, and then Jade Revere looks like she's going to come back in as she has gone over from the right side to the left side. It'll be a free kick opportunity now here for Taylor Almer, one of the captains for Mike O'Neill's Rutgers team. Clock will stop there, so we're at 37:25 remaining here in the second half. Cleared by Martin. Wind keeping that ball in bounds. Watch this transition from Michigan. Here come the Wolverines, right down the middle. Strategakis talked about special moments. Knocked out of bounds, throw in Michigan. How about the wind holding that ball up? Michigan knew it, and Michigan was off to the races.
Loftman finds Strategakis on this left side. Great 1v1 defending by Taylor Almer to be able to close that space quickly and win the ball.
Almer took that free kick and then was the player that got back to defend. That'll roll out of bounds, and it'll be a Michigan corner kick. Michigan now 6 corner kicks. Strategakis. Loftman sent right back out by Rutgers. And Strategakis will run it down. Mira Ali. Wynn holding it up for Loftman. Sent out of there by Rutgers again. Throw in Michigan. Junior, another one of those players from California. Leah Martin, Carmel, Indiana. Wind has not stopped for either game here. Fans starting to get into it. Every time Rutgers shows some glimpses, they are ready to cheer on the Scarlet Knights here at Yersak Field. This is only, obviously, since Rutgers relatively new to the Big Ten, it's only the 6th all-time meeting. Scarlet Knights hold a 3-1-1 advantage. During the regular season, Rutgers knocked off, at the time, number 16 Michigan 1-0 in Ann Arbor. Neme scoring the lone goal of the game in the 44th minute. Rutgers come into this one having knocked off Michigan in their last 2 meetings. Seeley switches the point of attack.
Rotate.
DeVecchi. He's got Strategakis, first touch, second, driven in, loose, top of the 18, turning. Hawkinson. Meredith Hawkinson. You feel like she's going to be part of something special as well. Hawkinson comes over to try to get it. They elect instead to go back to Cooper. They'll switch it again to DeVecchi. Hear the Rutgers crowd. They want Rutgers to try to win it back and get some offense going. Since that breakaway, Michigan has held the ball for a couple minutes here, Jackie Manning.
They have, and I mean, like we talked about with all those players out, I think Rutgers is still just trying to stay a little bit calm under this pressure, trying to figure themselves out a little bit, find their rhythm with the new personnel in, but Michigan trying to drive up this left side especially, and I love Strategakis' ability to come out wide and shift the defense, pull them apart. I think her movement's been pretty key to this Michigan attack in the last 5 minutes.
So at the moment, with 3 quality starters on the bench, Rutgers kind of electing to shell it up just a little bit. After that breakaway, Cooper squares it. Hawkinson. Loftman. The extra hustle coming from Seeley. Now Revere. Revere back at that right side where she started the game. Cut back in. Michigan from distance, and McClellan is there. Against the wind, you're probably going to need to be closer to beat McClellan.
Especially when it's McClellan. Yep, and Stratigakis here. Another look on the ball, takes it onto her left, drives it, but right at McClellan. And then I love this movement by Stratigakis to get herself out wide. She tries to get end line, send this balls across. Little crafty footwork by Hernandez there, and then another shot by that far outside right of the PK box.
5 shots from Michigan, 2 for Rutgers so far. Dana Goldstein, who played a little bit in the first half, going to come on next opportunity. Brittany LaPlante looking for Amira Ali. Rutgers 2-0-1 all-time here at Piscataway, Yersack Field. Another Rutgers player, Jenna Sayers, who also played in that first half, going to get in, and they are in the shade. No sun over on both benches. Just adding. We saw some blankets on that Rutgers bench as well on top of the parkas.
The wind makes it pretty cool out there.
Subs coming in. Jenna Sayers. Gonna come on. Italy Harrigan going to come off. Dana Goldstein. Ring number 49 going to try to add some support to Amira Ali. There she is, her first touch. Good idea to try to flick it to Ali. The problem is, and it's a big problem, Aaliyah Martin is there.
She is her shadow right now. She anticipates every movement that Amira Ali is making.
Michigan also going to make a change. Is coming in Sierra Yeka, redshirt senior, another Canadian. You got to remember the Big Ten midfielder of the year, Sarah Stratigakis, also Canadian. Of course, we told you about Jay Revere playing for the Canada World Cup team. Stratigakis, it made me ask Jennifer Klein if Canada has asked about Stratigakis, because the kind of year she's had. Make no mistake, college soccer has played a monster role in the development of the best players for not just the U.S., but for Canada. Over the years, we've seen players come over from New Zealand, as even Michigan's got one right now with the New Zealand team, Australia, Jamaica, Mexico sometimes. College soccer's been a great boost for women's national teams all over the world.
It has, and it's fun to see the different flair and the different styles that those different national team experiences bring as well.
Quick restart. The referee says too quick. They're going to bring it back.
Foul on this last play. Hernandez gets on the ball. Great job to turn and face the game. Visco comes through, gets the ball, but comes through the back of Hernandez for the foul.
12 fouls, 7 for Rutgers, 5 for Michigan. There's the blankets in the crowd. Loftman. Nice weight on that ball, trying to find Stratigakis. Clearance, not enough. DeVecchi, or nutmeg. Cleaning it up for Rutgers is Allison Lynch.
Visco has won every ball defensively for Rutgers with those services into the box. She's been so good at getting up in the air and clearing those balls, specifically with her head.
More subs. Yeka now into the game. See that left wrist wrapped up there for Cooper, who will go straight to the jacket. That is key, because remember, in the second half, you can go out and you can re-enter. But when you go out, particularly because there's no sun on the bench, you got to figure out a way to get bundled up. And you know the deal, Jackie. You're also cold and damp
Sweaty,
and wet, right? Yeah, it's an uncomfortable situation. It's fine when you're out there, but when you go to the bench, it is.
It's a quick transition.
Yeah, it's tough on your body. Amir Ali. And too many touches for Ali. Nicky Hernandez will give it up. Several players wearing gloves out there, some without. Gloves would be automatic for me, just the added layer of warmth through your arms.
I was that player that wanted to just be really mentally tough, so I was in the short sleeves, shorts, no gloves, no headband.
So you're calling me weak.
A little bit.
Little turn here, Michigan. As Yeka making the run. We'll see what Yeka can bring coming off the bench. I believe she got in the first half. See what she can do here in the second half. We've got a lot of time left. You see there, this game's had quite a few interruptions because of all of the injuries, and it started early on, 16 minutes in with that collision with Shea Holland when it looked like Laughlin may have scored, but Danielle Wolf was called for the foul, and Shea Holland has not been able to return. And then 1 minute later, Chantel Swaby went out, and then second team all Big Ten, and the leader in goals, Nneka Monemi. And then Rutgers, no shots this half. They had 5 in the first half, but with no Nneka Monemi, it's going to be difficult with, as you said earlier, Amir Ali all by herself up top.
She has, and Michigan commits numbers forward in terms of that high press that they like to do, and so it's hard for Rutgers to get out of their end. Ali ends up kind of being on an island by herself up top, and yes, she does really well at holding the ball, but they don't do a good enough job, at least in this second half, to possess the ball and allow numbers to get forward. And a lot of that midfield play from Rutgers. I mean, Shea Holland went out. You just saw Gabby Provenzano in the center back position for Rutgers, who was a holding mid for Rutgers, and she was pretty key in holding up the ball. So I think losing her into the center back kind of shifts things for them midfield-wise as well.
Amir Ali was squaring. Still loose. Tierney Wiltshire. LaPlante, and LaPlante will earn a corner kick. Corner kick, Rutgers.
Rutgers finally up in their end in the attacking third. Michigan does a good job a couple different times here to get pressure on the ball. Wiltshire sends this ball into LaPlante. LaPlante tries to go 1v1 end line. Well done by DeVecchi for Michigan to keep that ball out, and Rutgers earns a corner kick.
Michigan guarding the near post. Keeping an eye on LaPlante. Hillary Beal directing traffic in goal for the Michigan Wolverines. Corner kick for Rutgers, just their second of the game. Good ball placement as Beal has to stay put right on the line. Knocked out of bounds this time by Rutgers, and back to Michigan.
Like you said, good, well-placed ball that comes in. Visco tries to get up on it. Hawkinson again coming through for Michigan, though. Good challenge by her in the box to keep that ball out.
First touch Rutgers, second Rutgers, but third ball clean here. Revere. Revere. So good at that right back spot. Michigan. This started from Revere. Good little touch in, deflected. Michigan keeps possession. Battling there's Jenna Sayers. Kept clean here by Seeley. And Seeley will, oh, look at that spin back for a corner. What a bounce.
This is one of the better attacking plays for Michigan. They come up that right side. They get numbers around the ball. Hawkinson sees that it's not on, plays it back again, and then these little 1-2 combinations to break the Rutgers pressure is so good. And then you see Hernandez get on the ball. They change the point of attack, come at you. Another 1-2 combination play. Just some great sequence work by Michigan to try and free themselves up and get this opportunity.
Corner kick, Michigan. Second ball. Ooh, Amira Ali, she was off to the races. Seeley got just enough to slow down Ali, although Martin was still back anyway. Strategakis with her right foot. One bounce, far side. Tough bounce as trying to get to it was Shepard. Shepard earlier had the best shot for Michigan, handled by McClellan. And Shepard was in the right place, just couldn't get a good touch on it, Jackie, to send it back across in front of the goal.
I like that they're getting their backs forward. They're trying to get some numbers, get their offense going.
Long throw in, Riley Lofman. Lofman, we've seen what she can do if it falls to her left foot. With her right, she'll get it over to Hawkinson. Hawkinson, good move. And a diving header out of bounds, corner kick, 8th corner of the game for the Michigan Wolverines.
I think this is where Michigan's going to be good. If they can continue to get end line, get some services into the box. You've got Hawkinson driving end line here. Provenzano, though, sacrificing what looked like straight into her face to keep that ball from getting slotted into the top of the 6.
That's why she's one of the captains, and a goal! And I think it's Shepard. She's been so dangerous the entire game. It was Shepard that had that shot early, and it's Shepard with the goal.
Love when you can get a center back up and involved in your attack. And like you said, Shepard, she's been dangerous today. She gets herself in a great spot here to put this ball away. Big goal by Michigan. Lofman with the cross in, and Shepard gets up, heads this ball right into the back of the net. This ball goes right over Rutgers defense. What a great job at elevating, getting back, snapping through it, keeping that ball on frame, and sending it right past McClellan. That's a great finish for Michigan.
The way Shepard has played today, it's hard to believe, but that's her first goal of the season. You see it right there on your BTN screen, as Shepard has been the most dangerous in front of the goal coming forward, and the celebration to support the effort for Shepard. It's 1-0 Michigan. Strategakis playing it forward as Michigan able to break through here. First career goal for Miss Shepard, coming at the perfect time. The sophomore from Danville, California.
Love this celebration from Michigan. You can see just the genuine joy out of Shepard. Great timing for your first goal, and then Rutgers' disappointment and the opposite side. Hands on the head, but we've talked again about how Rutgers just kind of figures out how to get things done. They're the home team. Let's see if they can kind of feed off of this home team, home advantage, and their environment's buzzing around this Rutgers side. We'll see what they can do.
Jennifer Klein. See if she'll make some tactical decisions here with this 1-0 lead. Remember, Rutgers does have the wind behind them, as both Penn State and Michigan have been able to score against the wind. A throw in. Coming into the game, Danielle Wolf brings in that power and strength up top. I like this move actually with the 1-0 lead. Somebody that can perhaps check back, hold it, and right away they go to her, and she's knocked to the ground. Referee says play on.
I agree. I think putting a target up front with the ability to hold people off, seal it, keep it, is going to be really big time for Michigan.
Give Yaka credit. She came on, quality minutes, coming in cold, and I'm talking really cold. And now Danielle Wolf will come on to do exactly what Jackie Manny just said. Try to hold it up, big presence, true number 9, wearing that 14 jersey, dancing with it. DeVecchi.
I think DeVecchi's been great up this left side too. She's been able to create, get involved in the attack. She's pretty technical.
Knockdown, that almost looked like a handball. How crazy would that have been? As Penn State scored one and then got a handball to essentially close it out. I like Michigan's approach here. They continue to try to search for that second goal. They know how dangerous Amira Ali is. Rutgers, though, definitely missing. And obviously this is Captain Obvious, but Moneme leading the team this year in goals. They miss her so bad.
She is, and like we talked about, I mean, she has come up so many times for this team in finding that game-winning goal, and I think you don't see the same Amira Ali without her either. I think the relationship between them, I think the energy that they both bring and the spark that they provide up top for Rutgers is definitely lacking when you don't have the two of them playing together up top.
Michigan able to break through with the Shepherd goal, and when they score first, Jackie Manny, the Michigan Wolverines are ironclad, 13-0-0 when they score first. That, to me, is a sound, coached team, right? Defensive discipline, great shape, and they're closers. They can finish the job. So Rutgers going to try to look for the equalizer. Going to try to bring on a couple more players is Abby Roberts, the freshman from England, who has spent time with the England youth national team. Going to try to get in next opportunity. And Brianna Starr, senior from Maryland, Archbishop Spalding High School. Also going to come on here is Mike O'Neill. He's got to really kind of try anything right now because you've got Holland out, you've got Swaby out, and you've got Moneme out. And those are three important players, so now you kind of roll the dice a little bit, Yahtzee style, right, and just see what you can come up with.
Yeah, exactly. And I think at this point you just kind of have to figure out who's going to be on the field and then try to get more balls into your attacking third, try to get out of your back. Because you're 1-0 down, you've got nothing to lose.
Strategakis, love her effort.
This was a big tackle on Hernandez by Visco.
Maryland slowly climbing back into things. Of course, their men's team, the reigning national champs. Now the Maryland women getting better each and every year since entering the Big Ten, and it says a lot for Maryland. Obviously, Michigan took care of them, but to make the Big Ten tournament, remember, only 8 teams get in, Jackie. No,
we haven't seen them in the Big Ten tournament in a while. I think the bottom half of the conference are starting to kind of close the gap. We saw Iowa have an outstanding season, and hopefully they'll be in that NCAA tournament after that big dramatic Monday showcase that we'll be waiting for come next week. I think they'll have a great chance. You know, we saw Indiana do well this year. Purdue is kind of starting to figure things out. Lots of injuries for them. Illinois had a great start to the year.
Yeah, and then you think about how young Minnesota is. Minnesota, after winning the Big Ten tournament last year, they had a ton of great players leave, obviously, and Fiedler and Bakken.
Heslin in that middle spot. Even Northwestern, though, too, had a good season despite how much turnover they had from their program last year.
Yeah, Northwestern lost 3 players that made it on NWSL rosters. Ray Leon, though, in his 4th season at Maryland, making progress. See Gabby Provenzano, one of the captains, even though she's only a junior, a natural leader according to Mike O'Neill. And as much as he was singing the praises of Amanda Visco, he was right there with Gabby Provenzano, as Provenzano has slid into that center back position where Swaby had always been.
General, I think, is how he referred to her, and she's just pretty steady and composed back there. She was in that holding midfield position, so great with the ball at her feet, really comfortable in setting play, but she's been so good right alongside Visco all season when she's been asked to play in that center back role.
You see right now, not interested in giving the 10 yards is the freshman Danielle Wolf. Now she does. Referee making sure. So now Rutgers, with the wind behind him, going to try to ping it, get a little touch. Aaliyah Martin, does she make any mistakes out there at all?
She's just so sound and confident in herself in the back line. She's very aware. She anticipates movements really well. She's just, I mean, like we talked about, she's a converted holding midfielder in that spot, so she's very spatially aware of everything that's going on around her. Head's always on a swivel. She's been great back there.
This is why Danielle Wolf is in the game now, to do exactly this. Check back, win it. Drop it back. Martin wearing that captain's armband with pride. Michigan's got the 1-0 lead. First career goal for Sydney Shepard. The only goal in the game, and it's 1-0 Michigan.
Michigan's finally starting to kind of calm down and find their rhythm. They're a very possession-oriented team, and we didn't really see a ton of that in the first half, but now they're getting their numbers forward. They're attacking in those wide spaces. Like we talked about, Aaliyah Martin setting play from that back, center back role. I think we've been really good in this second half.
Knocked out of bounds. Hawkinson and Wiltshire to the death, going at it. Sub for Rutgers, Dana Goldstein coming back into the game. And Brianna Starr, limited run. Penn State victorious over a Purdue team that had the shocker in Madison, knocking off Paula Wilkins' Badger team that I think when you go through this Big Ten season 10-0-1 and your other two losses are against Florida State, your reigning national champs, and Amanda Cromwell's UCLA, both by a single goal, I think that still merits a top 2 seed. Of course, I have no vote, no impact at all. But, I mean, that's a good season for the Badgers.
And honestly, I'm bummed that they're not here solely because we can't talk about what a great season they had. I think that they put together the whole complete season. They defended really well. They attacked really well in the wide spaces. They got their numbers forward. And here you see Visco come through the back of Danielle Wolf. Danielle Wolf, again, like you said, out there to hold up the ball, calm things down, slow it down. She's been doing a great job of that since being subbed on. But back to Wisconsin, I'm just bummed that I feel like is almost like a little bit of a letdown that they couldn't get into the tournament just because they put together such a great season. But hats off to Purdue for pulling that upset. Hats off to Wisconsin for putting together a great Big Ten Conference regular season.
Strategakis. Wisconsin, the #1 seed. It hasn't happened that often where the #1 seed has gone down, but it has happened. Of course, in a league like the Big Ten, it can always happen. Is 1-14 strong free kick opportunity. So we don't believe Visco, by the way, got a yellow card. I'm a little surprised because that was the second hard tackle from Visco in the last 5 minutes.
Well, as you can see, that emotion kind of coming out of her, being 1-0 down with 8 minutes left.
And the added part of having all those superstars on the bench who, based on that shot from our BTN crew, they did not look like they were thinking about getting back in, did they?
No, not at all. All three of them looked pretty beat up. You saw a boot on Shea Holland's leg, which is so unfortunate.
Swaby, Nemi, Holland. That's all three of them right there. They are not coming back in, not going to be able to help Rutgers in this one. Hopefully, they'll be able to help Rutgers when the NCAA tournament starts. Rutgers, their best season in Big Ten play, will also get a high seed. And Rutgers may not be done here even without those three. They still got a chance to equalize. Plant doesn't get the call. And the fans here, great crowd and tough weather. They're also sitting in the shade on those shiny silver bleachers, which are pretty cold as well.
They were not happy with that no call. What a play.
That's the goal scorer,
by Shepherd.
Don't forget, 12 o'clock Eastern, Sunday. Championship Sunday on the Big Ten Network. I've got two favorite parts of the year. The start of soccer season and then our championship coverage on the Big Ten Network. Can't wait for Sunday's game. Penn State against either Michigan, who's got the 1-0 lead, or Rutgers. Either way, it's going to be an outstanding matchup Sunday noon on the Big Ten Network. The afternoon goes on, you can see half the field starting to get covered by shade, half still with that sun, which certainly helps the players. Still dealing with the wind that hasn't even decided to take even one little break. Like, you know what I mean?
It has not let up for
no
however long we've been out here.
Michigan, with under 6 minutes remaining. Trying to put this one away, and Visco continues to battle. Danielle Wolf, Visco comes in hard again. Amanda Visco, senior. Rutgers, Jenna Sayers going to come in next opportunity when she can for Emily Harrigan. So Sayers waiting at the fourth officials table as Hillary Beals got a hustle to just keep it in bounds. Physical battle the entire game between Michigan and Rutgers.
It really has been. In the middle, on the flank side, Hernandez in here, wins the ball, does a great job to come out with that ball. And then here, Visco and Wolf battling it out on the sideline, not once, but twice. They get up and find a 50-50 battle between the two of them.
I feel like Visco's perhaps beckoning for a yellow card just a little bit. Clock is stopped, and speaking of yellow cards, it's going to go to Michigan. Yeah. No, it's Nikki Hernandez. So Hernandez gets the yellow. Meanwhile, the other 20, Amanda Visco, is perhaps pining for a yellow as well.
You can just see that fire building in Visco as the clock ticks down.
Hernandez and Shepherd have the right idea with the ear warmers. Top of the 18. Those are the kind of moments where Amira Ali, she can just find the ball. So many game winners in her career, putting 4 more this year. Last year, it felt like every game in overtime, Amira Ali was putting it away. And she's still out there, still directing traffic, still showing the effort.
We haven't seen her be able to find a ball, turn, and go at Michigan 1v1, though, partly due to the fact that Michigan's been so good defensively, but I just don't think Rutgers has been able to really string together passes and find Amira Ali up top and allow the game to grow and get numbers forward with her.
So yellow card issued, we believe, to the Rutgers bench. Emily Harrigan. That is confirmed. Strategakis. Provenzano wins it out of the back. Can they put enough passes together? Still 4 minutes remaining in this one. Penn State is in. Michigan 4 minutes away from meeting them. Amira Ali on the turn. Wiltshire making a run forward. Amira Ali might be thinking, can she earn a corner here? She turns. She is completely spent, I think, right there, as you saw her body try to turn on it.
Ali with this little half turn to get herself some space, starts to get some pace as she's on the dribble, keeps it, ends up going 1v2 to try and get end line and just can't get her hips turned around the ball to get that back into play.
Jenna Sayers on for Michael Neal. Emily Harrigan on the Rutgers bench that features 3 starters injured in this one. Hawkinson. Hawkinson and Wiltshire was the featured matchup in the first half. In the second half, it's been Hernandez and Visco, the 2 number 20s. Pretty physical, right?
Absolutely. They've been going at it. And Wolf, throw Wolf and Visco in there too.
Yeah, Visco got up for a second tackle on Daniel Wolf. And now we're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Hillary Beal, Wiltshire. As Wiltshire's got to do her job to force Hillary Beal to pick it up. And now it's tick-tock, watch the clock, 2:20. Jennifer Klein, she had that familiar message, will do us, but she also said, you know what? It's 2 teams that understand where they are. They want a championship. They want that trophy that we've shown you several times today on the Big Ten Network, plain and simple. Amira Ali, Rutgers, stays with it. Ali. The fans trying to get behind this depleted Rutgers roster. 3 injuries, back across, headed down. Wiltshire! Oh! Wiltshire with the equalizer, and we're tied at 1.
What a finish by Wiltshire, who's been pressing up, getting into the attack. You see her typically in that left back position, but she has been up with Amira Ali at the top. Rutgers crosses this ball in. It gets cleared by Rivera. Wiltshire takes 1 touch to get it settled down and then whips this ball, curls it into that far post. See a better angle here. Takes it down off of her stomach, but puts an inside spin on it and just curls that right into the far post, up and over Hillary Beal. What a big time finish by Wiltshire.
What a season for Wiltshire. Kind of a life-changing season when you think about a player that didn't play a ton and now is playing for the Jamaica full national team. It's her 2nd goal of the season. Her last one was versus Fordham, just her 4th goal of her career. So she makes her appearances for Jamaica, and give Amira Ali credit as well for keeping it alive to even put Wiltshire in that position for a spectacular Galazzo-type goal, a BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
She's got that wind at her back, but she put the perfect spin on that. She just curled that with the inside of her foot right up and around into that back post. What a finish. But you're right. Great job by Amir Ali to track that ball down in the corner and keep that alive.
Rutgers now feeling it. The plant can't run it down. The wind pushing the ball out of bounds, and now we're looking at overtime with 20 seconds, and the field more than halfway full with shade. The temperature's dropping. The wind, actually for the first time, the wind a little bit calmer here as we work our way into
a little calmer.
The afternoon. Michigan thought they were already in, but this Rutgers team, they are the cardiac kids. They always have been with Michael Neal. And through 90 minutes, Tierney Wiltshire has tied it at 1.
We talked about how this group just always finds a way to get it done, and they did just that. Clawed their way back in, did it in dramatic fashion. What a big-time finish by Wiltshire to keep this team in it.
They answer the goal from number 21, Sydney Shepard. That face says it all. All of the injured players celebrating with Tierney Wiltshire, including Chantel Swaby, her teammate on Jamaica. We're going to have overtime Big Ten women's soccer from Piscataway. Rutgers and Michigan need overtime to decide who will face Penn State on Sunday. Now Jennifer Klein's Michigan team, led by their superstar captain Aaliyah Martin, try to regroup as it looked like Michigan had this one in the bag, but it's never over against Rutgers. Doesn't matter who's out there. As we said, Mike O'Neill will roll the dice and hang with his team, and we're tied at 1.
They come through all season long, last year included. They just continue to find shots and wins when they need them.
15 shots for Michigan, just 6 for Rutgers, 3 of them on goal, and then the equalizer for Wiltshire. Rutgers, with these great fans, well, that was a special moment, and obviously we're in commercial break, but the team in their huddle actually stopped and saluted the crowd, and the crowd right back at them.
They went wild.
You just don't see that every day.
They loved it. They absolutely loved it, and it's part of the culture that I think Mike O'Neill has created here. He says the more the merrier when it comes to Rutgers soccer, and it's hard not to love the energy that this Rutgers sideline brings. It is a lot of fun to be a part of and hear.
And again, as you can see, you've got the hats, the gloves, the jackets, the blankets. It is
people
chilly.
running stairs that you can see to try and keep warm.
And then you've got those youngsters that they don't need anything. They're good to go. And here we go. You know the deal. You score, you win, you play on Sunday for a chance to be the 2019 Big Ten Tournament champions. That's where we are, overtime soccer. If we go both 10 minutes, as you see, Rutgers 5-1-2 in overtime. As no surprise, they have just been stellar over the years. Mike O'Neill's team always ready. And out of the gate, Amir Ali was ready to get another game winner for this year. Tons in her career. Number 17. If Rutgers is going to pull this out in overtime, don't be surprised if Amir Ali's on it. Ali. In fact, it was Ali that really fought to win the ball, to keep it, before this player right here was able to take advantage of not the best clearance, as Revere was not able to get it out of danger. Wiltshire almost upper 90. It was that kind of quality. There's no goalkeeper in the world that's going to stop that shot from Tierney Wiltshire.
No, and it was a bouncing ball. It was almost a half volley, but she got the inside of her foot around it, kept it on frame. It was such a beautiful finish by Wiltshire.
Now we see LaPlante hobbling around a little bit, number 44. She's overcome so many injuries. Dana Goldstein stays in, wearing number 49. On the ball now, Brooke Seeley, the senior. I think Wiltshire is just an amazing story, right? As we've told you, now part of the Jamaica full national team. And you got to believe that even when her playing days are done at Rutgers, she'll continue to try to make appearances for Jamaica. Giving Rutgers more soccer, more hope in front of this outstanding crowd at Yersack Field. This is a big stadium.
Beautiful playing surface, too. Like you said, it's cold. It could be worse, though.
Reminding you, in overtime, they played 2 10-minute overtimes, switching point of attack through the first overtime. But if you score, you win. You are in. If after those 2 10 minutes, we'll go to penalty kicks to decide who's going to face Penn State on Sunday. And none of this is hurting the feelings of Erica Dombach, as both these teams got to play extra soccer, perhaps 20 minutes more, plus penalty kicks. Penn State home, cozy, perhaps watching right now on the Big Ten Network. Congratulations, Penn State, as you wait for, as we said, revenge. They lost to both these teams. Penn State at one point 6-1. The record now 14-6-1. One of the hottest teams in the country.
I definitely would say so. I mean, putting together 8 wins back-to-back in a row is incredibly hard to do, especially in a crazy Big Ten conference that we've seen, especially this year. I thought they looked so impressive. I thought they were fantastic in that game against Purdue.
Free kick opportunity for Rutgers. Rutgers has been pretty hot. They had 3 wins, a tie, and then 5 wins. So they've gone 9 games without a loss. So as much as we're talking about how hot Penn State is, Rutgers is pretty hot. And of course, Michigan got to be considered one of the hotter teams as well. As they came into this game, they had won 4 in a row before losing to Rutgers, and then won 2 more, outscoring the opposition 7-1 in those 2 games. So all 3 teams red hot at the right time. Amira Ali. Good idea to try to drop it back, but handled there by Michigan.
Right, Rutgers was pretty similar in terms of Penn State's start and their start. They had those losses against Maryland and Wisconsin pretty early, and we had Penn State and Rutgers, I think, kind of at the midway point in terms of standings in the first couple of weeks of conference play, and it was just all up in the air at that point. I mean, this crowd has been in it. They've been vocal, they're passionate. I love how into this game they are.
It's Faith Harper, who you just saw, into the game for Jennifer Klein and the Michigan Wolverines. The Canadian, Revere. She'll square it. And Harper just into the game will switch the point of attack. Look at this effort here. Just an all-out Big Ten brawl. Michigan and Rutgers. Oh, and it's trouble. That's the winner. The Canadian World Cup superstar, Jade Revere, side netting McClellan. Lost it in the sun, and Michigan will face Penn State on Sunday.
Wow. With 3 defenders coming up with goals in this game. Revere on the right side. She had the wind at her back. Why not go for that shot in overtime? It's golden goal. I love the decision to get this off of her foot and send it on target. What a finish by Revere.
A BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Jade Revere, her clearance actually was not great. Wiltshire tied it, but Jade Revere comes back with the answer in overtime, and she might be a little bit out of breath. BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
Revere gets this ball on the right side, assisted by Shepard, and Revere, she's got her head up. She's got the wind at her back. Why not rifle this on goal? She sends it off of her foot, gets some power behind it, and with the wind takes advantage and puts this ball away. Huge finish by Revere to send these Michigan Wolverines into the final game.
All these talented attacking options, yet it's 2 defenders that get their first career goals. Sydney Shepard, the sophomore, and then Jade Revere, the freshman Canada World Cup star. Watch the reaction from Jennifer Klein and the Michigan Wolverines. Oh, look at Jennifer Klein, calm as a cucumber.